guys, and welcome to Let's Talk. Today I have two special guests who have been on my channel before, and right now I'll just give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Sorry, can you just smile?
No,
Do you want to go first?
I mean, sure, yeah, I could go first. Hi, my name is Candicia. I'm also Hayes Candicia here on YouTube as well as my social media. I am one half of Curly Prince and Toronto Curly Girl Meetup, which is a business that two businesses that I own with my sister.
Yeah, so hey, my name's Camilla. I am the other half as well of Curly Prince and Toronto Curly Girl Meetup, two businesses that Candice and I have together as well.
So thank you guys for being on my channel. If you guys didn't know, these are my cousins. And yeah, so today we're going to be talking about businesses and being 7-Day Adventists. They previously mentioned that the businesses that they have. So do you guys just want to just give us a little detail or a little brief overview of what's your business? How long have you been in business so far?
I guess I can describe Toronto Curly Girl Meetup. Yeah. So Toronto Curly Girl Meetup came out of just my influencer journey that I had. So I'm also an influencer on social media. But there was one day that I was speaking to my sister and I told her, you know what, I would really love to go to events, but they're all out in the United States. And there wasn't really anything in Canada that really you can go and talk about curly hair, learn about curly hair and being an influencer, meeting brands and stuff like that. So my sister and I, we were just like, you know what, why don't we create our own? So we did that. Now, due to COVID, events and stuff have been canceled. So we pivoted to being an online e-commerce. So now we sell Canadian hair brands, beauty and wellness brands as well. They are specifically Canadian brands. Some of them are women-owned and Black-owned businesses as well. So we've pivoted into that space, and it's fairly new to us, but we're enjoying it so far.
Yeah, so Curly Prince was actually started with Candicia's own brand for her, merch for her YouTube stuff. And then what we did was we rebranded the whole company and then started Curly Prince. So basically Curly Prince is an apparel business, and we embrace and empower natural curly hair through clothing. And we started that a little over a year now, right, Candicia?
Yeah, it's a little over a year.
A little over a year now. And yeah, we just sell different hoodies and shirts and stuff that all have to do with natural curly hair.
So have you guys faced any maybe discrimination or any hardships being a girl in business, a female in business?
I think it's more on the personal side. I think for me, it's kind of when you tell people you own a business, they're like, whoa,
yeah,
you really? And then you're just well, why can't I? What about me screams that I can't own a business? You know what I mean? But it's never been on an online, I think on online, we get a lot of positive feedback. So I think that's where we got a lot of people saying you know what, you guys are doing amazing, power to women, stuff like that. But I think more in our personal life, we get a lot of doubting, especially from men, if I can't even lie. A lot of men seem to doubt what we can do and what we're capable of doing. So I think it's a lot more in our personal life we deal with that. But I don't know, for Camilla, if you've ever dealt with something.
Not really. I would maybe just say maybe people don't really take you seriously because you're a girl, maybe. But I can't really think of a specific situation where it's been a huge struggle, I would say. Yeah.
So what about being 7-Day Adventist and in a business? Has there been any struggles or?
Yeah.
For me, I would just say obviously the Saturday is Sabbath, so it's a little bit hard to disconnect from the business and just focus on God and putting that stuff away. Recently I've been actually signing out of the accounts so I don't get the notifications. And then obviously all our followers come from all different walks of life, so people are messaging or inquiring about different stuff, so I really try to put that away on Sabbath and really just try to relax my mind, because it is a lot mentally having to deal with the public and
customers,
the customers, the customer experience and everything. So I would say for me it's just being intentional and like putting that stuff away when it comes to Sabbath and really like just focusing on what really matters for the Sabbath.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely the same for me. I think it's really hard for me not to focus on it or like to, like you said, like completely shut off like that part of my mind. I think like I'm always like worrying about like what if a customer emails, or what if you know, they need help with their orders.
Yeah.
Like, do I make money today, or do I just turn it off for today and have faith that like it's all going to work out? So it's definitely tested my faith and my relationship in that way. But I'm realizing too that like the Sabbath is an all-encompassing day of rest. It's not just like you sleep and you just like forget the world for a day, but I think it's really just taking your mind off of everything that you've done for the week and really just recentering, refocusing your life on God and just allowing yourself to just be at peace with Him. And I realize like that also has to do with my business as well, because if I'm not okay and if I'm not basing my life in God, then how is my business going to be okay?
Yeah.
So I think like it's definitely rocks my faith in that way for sure.
So have you guys seen like ways where God has like blessed you in your business? Do you have any like stories or?
Yeah, like recently for sure. Like last week was actually just Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So Kenisa and I had a sale for Curly Prince and Toronto Curly Girl Meetup. But for Curly Prince specifically, you know, like we were in the planning stages of like what do we want our sale to look like what is like the rollout gonna be and like things like that. So you know, like we were planning it and stuff. And Candice and I were like kind of talking about like our goals and like what do we want to like accomplish for the sales and things like that. And Candice was like, I forgot the specific number, but Candice was something
I think
like
I said like
20 hoodies she wanted to
yeah,
sell.
20
something
hoodies
like
or
that.
something like that, yeah.
Because sorry, we had a sale like on just our hoodies and stuff just for reference. So yeah, like Kanisa was like, I want to sell like 20 hoodies. I was like, no, Kanisa, like we're going to sell 30. And Kanisa looked at me, she was like, yeah,
there's
Camilla,
no-
you have that kind of faith. I was like, yeah, like I've never been so confident that like God is gonna come through for us this time. Like there's no way like that we can have any doubts when it comes to God, because we put God first when it comes to our businesses. So you know, like the weeks went by, whatever, and then it came to the sale, which was last Wednesday where it started. So we started on Wednesday, whatever, and then like the first day we surpassed like the goal that Candice had, which was crazy. So we're like, okay,
Wow.
what's the next goal? And then obviously like I said like 30, we passed that again. And then like the Sabbath came, and like it's just so crazy because like the Sabbath is the day that we made the most sales. And like I signed out of all accounts, like, and then when I signed back like after Sabbath, like I saw that like Saturday was the day that we made the most sales, which was so crazy. Like, and I think that's because we had such strong faith that like God was gonna come through for us this time. And then like we just like kept surpassing goals over and over and over. Like it was just crazy, like the way that it's just crazy the way it happened, but it obviously happened because we put faith and trust in God. So I don't know what your perspective was. Can you say?
Yeah, I would say like that story is probably like the highlight story for me. And I think like when it comes to our businesses and stuff, like right before a sale, I always fast and pray. I always do, just because like I want to put everything that I have into God's hands. And I'm like, look, I truly understand that if I put my own efforts into this, it can literally fall apart. So I'm just like, you know what, God, whatever you have in design and specialized for us, make it clear to us. And I always ask God to just make it clear that we're always in your will, and whatever happens today, you know, help it to be a blessing for other people and not just for ourselves. So that's always my prayer every time like we go into a sale. But yeah, like I was even telling Camilla, because we like sometimes we have like these business conversations, but they honestly encompass life in general. And I was telling her, look, we can ask for everything that we want in life, but until we have faith to step out and be like, this is what I asked God to do, but I'm preparing my fields for blessings. That's what I always tell Camilla. We have to prepare our fields for blessings. So inventory, we were ordering 100 or something or 200 something or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it seems crazy, but we're gonna clear out, like God's gonna clear out the storehouse. So I was just like, look, every time you pray and ask for something, you have to believe that it's going to happen. Just because like, yes, like God has different plans for you, But if you are truly in God's will and his plan, I think that's the part about Christianity that I think business has really taught me, is to have crazy faith. So really just allowing myself and my heart to be like, you know what? We're about to clear out the storehouse. So God is going to clear this out. Everything's going to work out. I'm not going to worry about the money. I'm not going to worry about the expenses. I'm not going to worry about running out of supplies halfway through packaging our orders, or I'm not going to worry about customs and all the fees that comes with that. I was like, you know what? If God brought us here, he's not going to take us half the way. He's going to take us the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that definitely has business has taught me, but it's encompassed my whole life. I think like my faith has gotten so much stronger with these businesses because I had to put my foot out on a limb and just be like, you know what, whether this falls flat or whether this is good, then, you know, that'll definitely happen. And I think for the two businesses, we had such different faith with both of them. Like Curly Prince, we walked out on a limb and we're like, no, we're confident that God is going to perform for us, and he did. But then for TCGM, being completely honest, it wasn't as successful as Curly Prince, where it's owned by the same people. And we almost applied the same exact methods, but one was very, very different from the other because I believe we didn't have as much faith in TCGM. We didn't pray as much about it. We didn't focus as much on it. And like we also didn't really have faith that it was going to work out. We kind of we had this like doubting mindset, like it's not really going to do that well. So that's what happened. So I think like even owned by the same people, and like that's where I know like faith and God really comes into play, because you could be praying for the exact same thing for different aspects of your life, but it can become so different because of the amount of faith you have in one or the lack of faith in another.
And I will also add like what I've observed as well is like something like always happens on the Sabbath, like a good thing. Like it'll be like a blogger will post us on the Sabbath and like we get so many followers, or like we get like the most amount of orders for that week, and it usually always falls on the Sabbath. So that always tells me that like God is like, I got you, like you don't have to worry about it, like put it aside, like I'm taking care of you, like I will like supply everything. So that's something that I've also like observed as well.
And you would think too, as a business owner, like you taking one day out of your business, some people think that's crazy because you're just like, oh, if you don't always work on your business, it's not gonna work. Like you have to always be working on it. But we're like, no, if we just leave it to, like if we obey God's commandments by just allowing the Sabbath to be a day of rest, but also a day of reflection and a day just with him, everything else in our life works out perfectly, if not way better than what we did in the week. So I think like God really shows his promise to us on the Sabbath day, always.
So you guys are such a big inspiration to all Black female entrepreneurs out there. So do you have any, tips or advice to give to Black female Christian entrepreneurs, or just, entrepreneurs in general?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I've never thought of that.
I would say for me, for the Christian Black female entrepreneur, allow God to be the center, the front, the back, the middle. Allow him to be in every aspect of your business. I honestly, like when it comes to different things, like when it comes to like our planning, because we have planning meetings and stuff where we plan for the year or plan for the month and stuff. I always pray before, even if it's in my head, I pray and I ask God, give me the wisdom or the ideas that I need to help propel my business forward. And sometimes, I can't even lie, some of the things that come out of my mouth, I'm like, I was not thinking of that before. I don't know how I got to this idea. And half of the time, like, if it's that, sometimes it really works out. So I'm just like, I just allow God to take over my mind and my heart and allow him to help plan and help him to be every aspect of the business. So I think that's definitely important. I think also spending time allowing God to work on your own self, because I think our own wishes and our desires even fall into our business, because like the things that I might like, my customers may not like. But if I'm putting all me into the business, then I'm only serving me. So I think it's that that personality of service and being a servant. You know, even at our high school, like our slogan was service and not fame. And like as much as that was annoying to hear all the time,
Right,
like I was
right.
just like, it is so true when it comes to business, because or just life in general, because like if I'm not doing it to serve someone else, then I'm only serving myself. And if I'm only serving myself, it's only a blessing to me, but I want it to bless everyone. I pray that every order that goes out, I just pray and I ask it'll bless their home and it blesses them. So, you know, just praying for those types of things as well. But just for business in general, I mean, know your numbers. Don't be afraid of your numbers. Like, know exactly what you're supposed to bring to the table. Don't just go willy-nilly off of anything. Really pray and ask God to give you the wisdom. Even if you never studied business, I think everybody can do business. You just have to believe in yourself. So I think even asking God to show you the different things you need to know, ask him to help you understand your numbers, help him to understand your finances, where you should be putting your money, where you should be putting your taxes, all of that stuff. You know, just knowing what you need to know and not being afraid of taking up the challenge. I think those are my tips.
Yeah, I would say like the same thing as well. Like obviously always keep God in the center. Even if you feel like something's not working at the beginning, like it may be happening for a reason. Like God maybe is like preventing something to happen for a reason, but just keep going and always just have that faith and trust in God that things are going to work out, and it's going to work out as long as you have God in the center and in every single aspect of your business, like Candicia was saying.
So I want to thank Candicia and Camilla so much for being on my channel today. I hope you guys gained a little bit about business and how to keep God at the center of your business. If you have any questions for Camilla and Candicia, I will put like their socials in the description box so you can take a look at that as well. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk, and we'll talk next week. Bye.